Yeah, 24 degrees right now, 25 degrees in fact. Very, very dangerously close to Barbara winning the weather competition, really, really is. Nice to have everybody on board, and I tell you what, let me do this. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and I've got to say thank you. Thank you for joining me this morning. It is such a pleasure because, believe me, I'm very, very humbled because we have Jamie Hoover joining us, coming out of North Carolina, and believe me, absolutely a big fan of his work. Really, really am. Got to thank you also for joining us, especially if you're a first-time viewer, not listener, viewer. Literally, why not become part of the family? We call it the noise here at Galaxy, simply because you do have a voice and we do take notice. We really, really do. And I tell you what, believe me, it is an absolute pleasure to have you. So, why not sub, thumb, bell, bingo. Bell notifications when we have important people, much like Jamie Hoover. See, I got it right. I actually read the line first. Coming out of North Carolina too, by the way. Sub, why not subscribe? Become part of the family. Yeah, there you go. You know what to do with the thummy thing, right? Yeah, get epileptic with it. In the meantime, I tell you what, let's kick this off. Joining us live, coming out of North Carolina, is Jamie Hoover. Here's War of the Roses on Galaxy. Gosh, it's hot in here. Where are we?
Still on the door right now.
Yes, please.
Hi, Michael.
Yeah. So how you feeling there, my friend? You okay?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just happy to be alive.
Nice. Well, believe me, I'm very humbled to meet you. I really, really am. Do you know Terry Van Cannon?
Terry
Van Cannon.
I don't, but, you know, probably because I'm tragically unhip.
Well, no, I'll tell you what. Master Slide Steel. This guy really, really knows how to cook on the slide steel. He really does. He comes out of North Carolina as well, and is in the same circles. Sorry?
I think it's a big place, North Carolina.
Yeah, of course, because you're in Charlotte, aren't you?
I was born in Charlotte, and I lived a lot of my life there, but I'm in Southport, North Carolina now, I'm about 3.5 miles from the ocean.
Okay.
Floor.
Okay. You weren't affected by that big wet that just happened a week or so ago, were you?
You know, we just didn't get anything. I mean, it was like a little bit of rain and, you know, nothing here. But the mountains got creamed, like, you know, 5 or 6 hours away from here. They're still not, you know, I mean, a lot of people, you know, there was a lot of people died. And you know, just like, you don't have hurricane insurance when you live in the mountains, you know. It's like you usually have that at the beach if you can get it. You know?
Yeah.
Not at the mountains, you know.
Exactly.
So I got friends that still don't have power and stuff like that.
Crazy. I had friends in that got hit by both of those hurricanes just a couple of weeks ago, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
believe me.
Yeah.
I've got one friend saying enough. I survived one. The second one, he goes, I'm moving to New Zealand.
The first one was worse than the second one, at least it came through here, but it was just by worse, I mean, a lot of flooding, but you know, this property's designed correctly and it just all, in an hour, was gone, you know, so not a big deal.
Nice. Let's go live.
Yeah.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and absolutely loving this, really am. Today we're talking to Jamie Hoover, coming out of North Carolina. Welcome to Galaxy, Jamie.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here.
It is an absolute pleasure, and believe me, I got to thank you for the photo. Believe me, that was Absolute masterpiece. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Now, we opened up the show with War of the Roses. This isn't to do with the movie, is it?
Nope. No, it's well, I really like Richard Rossi is the lyricist on this, and he just came up with. I was a great hook and a great story, and I was in the perfect place to deliver it. At this point in time, so very proud of that.
I'm absolutely loving your room. To be very honest with you, that's a boys' playground for sure. It really, really is. Including the axes and the electric drum kit. Mate, I can have some fun in that place.
Oh yeah, it's like a pod. My girlfriend has a place on the next wall over there, a studio as well. So it's we have the pods, beach pods A and B, studios A and B here. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, believe me, I'm coming over. I really, really am. Got to say hi to Monty Connor joining us from Atlanta. Clayton Dye's joining us as well. Nice to have you on board. Michael Sprague in the house. Nice to have you on board. Love to Tia and Owen as well. And Bobby Gross. Bobby Gross. Hello, my friend. Nice to have you on board. It really, really is. Ryan Neville's joining us as well from Christchurch, New Zealand. Hello, brother man. Nice to have you on board today because, believe me, you're going to absolutely love this. Jamie Hoover is joining us. And Jamie, Orbit, tell me about the... Are you into sort of like sending things into orbit, are you?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to create something from the ground up. I mean, usually the stuff that I start working on is literally just in this room, and I have everything I need here. So lots of strange guitars, and not really strange, but just, the right guitar for the right sound. And I'm trying to get the other ones up. I haven't lived in this particular spot since in August is when I'm living here, really. So still decorating, at this point.
Very, very nice. Got to let you know the guy that I was talking to prior to you literally is a rocket scientist that came out of NASA. So believe me, when I saw Orbit, I thought, I'm going to have to introduce you to this guy. He really is fascinating. He really is. In the meantime, right here at Galaxy 107 FM, joining us live today is Jamie Hoover. Here's the Orbit. Oh, no, it's not. It's Orbit. Told you my glasses.
Excellent.
Orbit.
Excellent.
Orbit. Which bit? Orbit. Dear, it's hot in here. Really is.
Kieran, hey Terry.
I'm trying to figure out what the temperature is, but it's not going to let us know in American numbers. So,
Like 50s.
Easily more than that. I reckon we're up in the 60s.
Okay. Perfect. About like it is here.
23, 24 degrees, yes. That's in Celsius, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
trying to get that one into what the temperature is here at the moment is 63 F.
63 there, yeah. 65 here, but that's in Fahrenheit.
Okay. Add another 10 for in here with all the computers and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And all of these air-breathing people, they're making it warm in here, just sucking in all our air, oxygen.
Breathing up your air, yeah.
Yeah,
Hi Glenn.
breathing out.
Here as well, too, so,
Terry Newman is joining us. Nice to have you on board, Terry. It really is. I also see Nut and Up is joining us. So I really do have to behave myself. It's the boss watching
Hi
now.
Michael Z.
She's sitting over there with something heavy to throw at me.
Michael Z.
Yeah, she is. Oh, gosh. Michael Zdanowitz coming out of... Remember I was saying about a man living in Florida that was going to... he's actually watching right now. He's coming out of Orlando, Florida. He's with Galaxy Class Entertainments. He is a promoter and does recordings, everything like that. And
Right.
absolutely wonderful man. Really, really is a nice guy. So,
Excellent. A lot of people end up there. My good friend Bob Lind, you may know from Elusive Butterfly years ago, is a Florida guy and has been there as long as I've known him. But they also didn't have that much damage where he was in particular, which is home coast.
oh, believe me, Michael, one of the first things he says to me is, "I've survived one. The second one's come through. I'm coming to New Zealand." Michael, there's a place for you. Come here. That's right. Oh, gosh, this microphone is playing up again. Hopefully I can get this right. Try that. There we go. Just needs a bit of CRC on the connections, to be honest with you.
You need a can of detox it here.
Yeah, something like that. Either that or replace the lead itself. It might be getting a little old, you never know. But
Yeah.
yeah, just one of those things. Nice to have you on board too, by the way, my friend. It really, really is. I see Majat, his aunt, is joining us. Nice to have you on board. It really is. Now, I got to ask you, my friend, as a fan, how do we get hold of you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter or X? Are you a talker? But more importantly, do you respond?
Oh yeah, I try and respond anytime I get anything from anybody. I really do. Facebook, probably the easiest way to get me was on Facebook, and I try and respond. It's funny, I've had a person recently contacted me, and the questions were very AI, if you know what I mean. And I'm finally starting to throw at trick questions, so stuff that makes me laugh and see if they respond to it. But no, Facebook is easy. I have a website, jamiehoover.net. You can get a hold of me through there. So I'm probably too easy to go.
At the same time, Jamie, I got a young lady coming out of London in Canada. Her name is Robin. She's asking, do you have a merch store? Can I go and buy t-shirts, caps, koozies, stuff like that?
Yeah, and do we have a what?
A merch store.
Oh. I've got a link on my website that's sort of a, kind of Build-A-Bear sort of thing. You can design what you want, and I have a couple of designs up. You can get it. And the name is not coming to me right this second, but it's just sort of a made-to-order T-shirt place. You can get T-shirts and mugs and stuff like that. You can get any of my records through there as well, at least download them. Some of them are sold out at this point as far as vinyl, and people are not really pressing, that much in the way of CDs since, everything is digital now.
Yeah, this is true. This is so true, to be very honest with you. But having said that, I've had a few people just recently send me some vinyl records of their work, which is, not only nostalgic, absolute. I'm a big fan of vinyl.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I just came across some old, the first and second Spongestone record. It was actually the second one, I guess. It was on vinyl on repeat, and I should just send you a copy of it because it's like they're new in the box that somebody picked up at a warehouse, and it's like, okay, I've got them. So if you're into vinyl, plus I did a 45 a couple of years back that I'll be glad to send you. It's on blue vinyl.
Believe me, I'd be honoured to be able to possess those. I really, really would. Of course, I'd expect you to put a moniker on there.
Oh, sure. So just make sure you send me your snail mail address, and I'll send you a couple.
I'll get Barbara to do that. And if you want to throw in a T-shirt or something as well, I'd be more than honoured to wear your brand while I do this. And I got to be honest, it does work. It does.
Now, do you guys have any little kids or anything?
No, but we can steal some.
Okay.
How many do you want?
I have a couple of leftover Spongestone shirts from our 40th anniversary show, maybe, and they would be little,
Okay.
But,
yeah.
It'd be funny to see a toddler running around in those.
No, believe me, it sort of brought me back to memory of, well, to be honest with you, when you asked that, I was doing an interview with an executive from a company called Johnson & Johnson, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I knew that I was going to be doing this, so I sent the minion out to the store to go and get me a bottle of the product, okay?
Yeah.
And thought it'd be a great prop, hey, we got your product here, sort of thing. So I'm talking to this guy, and I just couldn't help myself. I picked up the product, I says, this is the product. He goes, yes, that's the product. And I looked at it and I went, baby oil. He goes, yes. I went, how many babies goes in a bottle?
Yeah, they have to compact them first, and then they have to stew them down.
Yeah, you got to reduce them down, don't they? I think they've got about 3 rather large ones reduced down per bottle. You know what I mean? True story is, from that day onwards, I've been blacklisted by the company. They won't return my calls. They won't return my emails, my texts, nothing. They just won't do it.
That's a shame.
Yeah, funny as hell, though. The longer they stay silent, the longer I make some fun out of this one. It's brilliant, it really is.
As you should.
Exactly, it's like Tiger Balm. How many tigers goes in a packet of that? You know what I mean? You're still allowed to get them these days. Are you a fan of history?
Yeah, I'm not an expert at it, but I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, well, I kind of figure if you don't look to the past, you can't really move forward, right?
Right.
So I want to ask you about Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Tell me about this. This is a great track.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you like that. It was just a great lyric, and it was funny, and I just loved it. Richard Rossi wrote the lyric for this, so I just put it to music and sang it the way I wanted to sing it. But you do something like that, you have to nod to the history. I tried to do some stuff, with the guitar to make it match the subject and all that. But I'm glad you like it.
Really, really do. In fact, I got to be honest with you, Jamie. Play this in my car. I really do.
Yeah.
So you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and joined today by Jamie Hoover. Here's Genghis Khan. I don't know how to say this, but the last interview we were talking about history as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Never once do I ever talk about history
Right.
or of, you know what I mean? But today it's just been loaded with it, talking about ghosts and UFOs and, the myths and legends of the past, and especially the Greeks and all of that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? So, but I'm a big fan of history. I think that you need to understand the past to know what the future is going
on. Yeah. Well, the place, on the coast, on the coast everywhere, I guess, is the first place history kind of starts, because when they come to populate a country or whatever, they're there. And there's a whole lot of ghost stuff around here, which is kind of cool. In Southport, you can get tours of all the sort of places that ghosts supposedly were, and there's a great old graveyard, Spanish moss hanging from the tree, so it's gorgeous. It really is pretty, and people play up to that stuff quite a bit.
I bet, and believe me, I've even heard about some of these places in Tennessee that have bottles hanging off their trees, you know, expecting ghosts to drop on in for a bottle.
Yeah,
Bottle
yeah.
trees, I
Well,
love it.
they will decorate trees for anything around here.
myself.
Easter, Christmas, Halloween, whatever's going on, you know.
Yeah,
they
we used to
make
do
a tree celebrated.
we used to do that when we were kids with toilet paper on people's trees.
I used to have, we used to have this girl that we used to roll her house every year, and you know, every year when they would go out of town, we would roll it. And I remember getting on top of this house and pulling up some of those A-frame, like a thing that they put on the road with a blinking light to keep you from running into a sewer or something. You know, we put one of those up on top of her house and rolled all the trees. Bad boys, bad boys. I don't recommend it. Don't do this at home.
My friend, you're a man after my own heart. You really are. You really do. By the way, you wouldn't happen to be a vegan, would you?
I'm not a vegan. I try and eat a lot less meat-based stuff these days, but I'm not. I could be probably a pescatarian and just eat fish, which may happen at some point in my life because I'm, you know, right here. I get great seafood. Plus, I like to fish a lot too.
Okay. Well, no, I'm trying to get to the bottom of a myth. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever tried a vegan sausage?
I've had, I've had some of them here that taste like Italian sausage kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Is it made of real vegans or not?
You know, I'm not sure whether the ones that we got have been. My girlfriend's vegetarian, so I'm very familiar with that type of stuff, but not vegan. You know, I have a lot of friends that are vegan. I wish I could do it karmically. I mean, it would be great to be a vegan, and I probably wouldn't have as much of this right here either.
Hang in there, my friend. Hold on. Yeah. Now you thought you were going to catch me out, right? Not onto it. Believe me, nice to have everybody on board. Marcel Louis is joining us. Nice to be on board, Marcel. And Roger Peterson, welcome back. And congratulations to the lovely lady for picking up yet another Josie Award. She really is the queen of the Josies. And congratulations to you. And enjoy the baseballs. Absolutely brilliant. Really. And today we're talking to Jamie Hoover coming out of North Carolina. Of course, Michelle coming out of North Carolina, same with Roger. So a few of the local Carolinians are tuning in right now. Very, very cool. Now, Jamie, how long have you been performing?
Well, I'm 68, and I've been playing in some sort of way, you know. I mean, as long as I got my first guitar when I was 10. I started playing probably like out, you know, between like 15 and 18, something like that. And I still play. I played a bluegrass gig last night here in town. I have an upright bass, and it's fun, you know, just playing traditional bluegrass stuff.
Now, I got to be honest with you, Jamie. The very first track that I ever heard of yours was Bourbon Understands, okay? And literally I heard it in my car. I've got to be straight up with you. Not only do I have a huge, impressive stereo system in my car, it is absolutely KA. It really is. But moreover, you see, Barbara gets about 200 submissions of music a day, literally. Mm-hmm. So we've got to be vicious, we've got to be brutal, we got to only take the best of the best, and it's got to go through a number of processes, the production, it's got to go past the board, then Barbara gives it to me on a USB device with absolutely no information. Literally, all it is the music, and I Bluetooth that into my stereo, and I'm driving down the road, right? And when I first heard Bourbon Understands Me, I thought, you know, being an engineer, I want to know more. I really want to know more about this artist. A, where did you get this recorded? It's a brilliant piece of work. It really, really is. B, let's give a shout out not only for your engineers, but those who mastered it as well. and C, why does the bourbon understand? Every time I drink bourbon, believe me, I don't understand the next morning.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things I do on Mondays is I go to my AA meeting. I'm an alcoholic, and I have been, well, I mean, you know, you're kind of born an alcoholic, really. You just sort of have to realize it, come up with it. So I definitely I felt like I knew how to deliver that, you know, as far as that. It's recorded, you know, in my studio, wherever I've been. I've been in Southport area for about 10 years. So that particular one was recorded in the house that I used to live in. I'm just coming through a divorce. So that's where it was recorded. But same equipment, same exact stuff. It looks the same, you know. So it's just good old home recording, home studio.
You know, that's the thing. For many, many years I've worked in some of the most professional, some of the best recording studios, not only here in New Zealand, but around the world. And today, the home recording studios are, if not better, than the professional jobbies that you pay multitudes of money for to be able to spend your time literally in there. If you've got the right person behind the equipment. You know what I mean? So
all you need ears, according to George Martin, you know, the book, all you need is ears. And that's really the truth. That's, you know, the equipment does matter. You know, I just made sure always to buy pro stuff, and, you know, keep it updated, keep my, you know, just keep looking for new stuff. But, you know, like the preamps that I use and I record, I built all these from kits, and you can build them a lot cheaper than you can buy them. So, you know, I have 3 Neve preamps, which is just like the old Neve console. I've got a couple of API preamps. I've got a Jensen preamp. I run all that through an 1176 compressor or peak limiter, and it goes straight into the machine like that. So really, it's going to sound like those consoles. You know, there's no reason it wouldn't, to make a flat transfer. So you really can do great sounding stuff in your house. You just need to have, you know, you can almost do it with two inputs or something, really. You can get a small interface and a good microphone, a nice cable, good set of headphones, you know, and that's where I've done. You know, it's like Todd Rundgren. I was forced into making my own records. But, you know, it's like I want to make records. I feel I know how to do it, and, you know, just buy the equipment and do it. And that's, you know, that's what I've done. I did have a brick and mortar place in Charlotte for about 10 years, and I've done recording in lots of, you know, we had Reflection Studios in Charlotte that did those early REM records and stuff. So, you know, I've been in them, and it's great to have that stuff, but, you know, I never wanted money to separate me from making a good product that sounds great, you know. Mastering is important, you know.
You know, I absolutely understand where you're coming from there, literally, and great philosophy as well. Sonny Morgan is joining us. Nice to have you on board, Sonny. It really, really is. And today we're talking to Jamie Hoover, coming out of North Carolina. Here's Bourbon Understands on Galaxy. Oh gosh, it's hot in here. Oh yes. When we finish this, don't go away, because we're going to take a few photos, bits and pieces. You'll get a copy of everything we do today.
Sure, great.
Barbara's, have you ever been a cartoon before?
Yeah, I made them into a cartoon.
Because, well, of course you have. Barbara's made you into a cartoon. A couple of those will be in there as well, so be prepared for that. But she's going to make it into a movie. Now, now, I don't know whether Glenn's told you this or not. The movies are really, really cool. They really are. And I usually say to people, you know, sure, show it to your friends and family. They're automatically going to love it because it's you, right?
Right.
It goes on.
I usually say to people, show it to somebody you don't like. Two reasons. First reason is, A, it's a hell of a boast. but B, usually puts a fire under their tuchus, and before you know it, they're getting in touch with Barbara saying, hey, I've got a band too, you know?
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword. Now, how many countries are tuned in right now? 157 countries. That's not bad. That's not
Yay!
bad. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, folks.
How many cities?
6319.
6,319. Cool. Cool. Honestly, Jamie, the number you want is the one we have at the end of this. We don't know whether it's one person or 10 people. It's the IP addresses that hook in to listen to the show on the radio side of it, if you know what I mean.
Right.
That's the number you want.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, when we do finish this, and we'll, you know, the photos and all that sort of stuff, I've got something that will interest you. Really have. And I would love to be able to pass you on to another media that we're associated with. In fact, we're going to end up being partners very, very shortly. And they can, they're a magazine, and they'll promote you there. If that's okay with you, Barbara? Yep, sweet, good. It's about a six-page spread too, by the way, if you're interested.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interested in, oh yeah, sure.
Nice. And bit of a story that goes with that as well. It really is.
I like that duct tape there.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't know how old these are, bro.
Right, that's great. No.
They were actually given to me by my mentor about 40 years ago, okay? And he was murdered on his driveway.
Ooh.
And it's got the one thing that reminds me of him. He was my best friend, not only my mentor. He paid for my education.
Wow.
This is why I'm in radio, was because of this man, really.
That's.
You know, and
I just I knew there was a story behind it.
believe me,
The
they stay with me. And I'll tell you what, they're so frail. Literally, they are frail. They're falling to pieces here, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But they're part of me, they're part of history, you know. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today we're talking to Jamie Hoover, and of course, you know, I like the Kardashians, I really, really do. I don't really have a lot to do with them, haven't really followed them. Talk to any of the women in here, and they will know the Kardashians and everything that goes on with these young ladies, so I want to talk to you in depth about this. Moreover, why you're a big fan of them, but especially Kim. But let's have a little chat for a minute. Many, many years ago, I ended up getting kicked out as a young man out of a town for doing something that I shouldn't have been doing, right? Now, friends of my father happened to be the constabulary at the time. They came to the conclusion, you know, we can do one of two things. We can put him before the judge in the morning, or we can put him on a bus and get him the hell out of town. And my parents and myself chose part two rather than part one. You know what I mean? So I got sent to my auntie's place about 111 kilometres down the coast. From Westport, where I was brought up. My father was a shot firer or an explosives expert for the coal mines. And they kind of figured that's where I was going to end up working. Didn't want a bar of that, literally. I was a bit of a rebel. I got to be very honest with you. Believe me, once I learnt that I could fight, and my father had a boxing ring out of backyard for us boys, so we learnt to fight as a young, you know, we were the great white hopes of our West Coast area. Literally, once I learnt that people kind of got a bit scared of you as well, you know what I mean? And, well, I got a bit out of hand there for a while. Got kicked out of town, sent to my aunties. My auntie says, listen, you're welcome to stay here, but you're not doing it for free. You're going to work, you know, we're going to give you a job after school.
Yeah.
thought, fair enough, okay, fair enough, you know. And she worked for a local motel as a cleaner for this motel, who the guy, Jim Breeze, owned a local radio station called 3RB3YW in Greymouth, right? So
Right.
I got to be the gopher in the radio station. Truly. Geek
Excellent,
off the,
excellent.
do all the menial stuff, you know.
Yep.
Until one day, the DJ there came down with peritonitis. His appendix literally burst on the scene, right? Now, it was after hours. It was literally 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, and there was only me and him in the building, literally. And I was thinking, I got to get an ambulance for this guy, right?
Yeah.
Problem
Yeah.
is, and this was a serious problem. The stairs weren't wide enough for a gurney, really. They were just there. The serious problem was the walls were stucco.
Uh-huh.
Now, these were old gurneys that didn't fold up or anything like that, so they had to carry this up, and you could see the bloodlines as they were carrying this from their knuckles going up the walls, right? They got up there, stuck the guy in the gurney, took him away, off to hospital, shut the door behind them, and they left me in this room. And I'm not kidding, I'm not that old at this stage, looking at all the equipment going, well, I've got two choices. I can go home, say, hey, I didn't touch a thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Didn't do what I'm not supposed to do, or I could sit down and have a go.
Okay.
Okay, I chose to sit down and have a go. I'm thinking, you know,
Yeah.
responsibility. The next DJ comes in about 3 hours. Somebody had better be here to do something about that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm sitting there having a go. I'd sort of had an idea because I've been watching them for a number of weeks. So, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, my boss is sitting down to dinner. And he's tuned in. And he's with his newly married sister and her new husband. Suddenly I'm on the air and dinner plans are out the window. Literally, they came and he was up the stairs within minutes and he's literally red-faced and shaking fingers at me, what the heck are you doing, all this sort of stuff. Didn't give me a chance to explain at all.
Right.
He's just firing off like a firecracker and I'm sitting there thinking, you remind me of my dad. You know what I mean? He really did. Until the guy who was with him tapped him on the shoulder and says, well, hold on. Let's hear his story. Well, why are you doing this? And I went, well, Gavin's just had peritonitis. His appendix of a rough. If you notice the blood stains and everything, the ambulance have taken him away. What do you want me to do? Go home or keep this rolling for you?
I'll keep flying the plane.
Absolutely. So, you know, this guy's going, good on you, go and sit down. You know, and keep doing what you're doing. The boss went into his office, literally in those days, he had one of these Venetian curtains you could look through the window, and believe me, all I could see was these two beady eyes looking at me through this glass window. Anyway,
Wow.
we got through the show. This guy came in from time to time and said, you know, try this, try that, you know, do this, you know, give that a go. Gave me a few pointers. And at the end of the night, he says, I liked what you did. Would you like to go to university and learn how to do it for real?
There you go.
And I went, well, I hadn't really thought about it. He says, you know, put some thought to it because, believe me, got a deal for you. You make your grades, I'll pay for it. If you don't,
Excellent.
it's on you.
Wow.
I went, okay. Unbeknownst to
That's
me at the time, this was the #1 DJ in the country.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and he was a pirate, literally a pirate. He used to get on a boat, go to the 12-mile limit to broadcast because the government didn't like the music that they played. They wouldn't give them a license.
Clandestine radio.
Yep, it was called Radio Haraki back in those days, literally. But and they took the idea from a boat that they saw in England that was doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
50-odd foot bloody mast that was going from water to water on rough seas, you know. Nah.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, I did 5 years at university, passed all my grades. When I got my final presentation, I also got a little envelope, and in the envelope, and it was just written on the outside, "Don't open until tomorrow morning," right? So I didn't open it up first thing in the morning because my curiosity was like 2 minutes past midnight, checking it out, and it was a plane ticket and a note saying, "Come to Auckland," right? So next morning, I'm in the taxi. I get on the plane. I head to Auckland. I got met by a very pretty young lady, and she showed me my accommodations, everything like that. Took me to this office, which was temporarily their radio station at the time because the boat sunk. It ran aground, right? But they were moving into a place called Celtic's House, and this was just the transition in between. And I got to meet this guy again, and before you know it, we became one of the most famous radio stations in this country.
Excellent, man. That is quite a story.
Yeah, it really is a story, you know. But to be very honest with you, the day he gave me these headphones, and his name literally was Kevin Black, the day he gave me this, he says, "Grant, you know, it's such a pleasure to have you. Little something from me to you." And he was stabbed to death in his driveway that night.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
And that's why I still have these with me. They're sentimental, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. You got to have your gree-gree. And it's like a little piece of magic. You know, speaking of slide guitar, that guy Sonny Landreth, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He played John Hyatt a lot and stuff. And I haven't met him, but he used to carry a rabbit's foot from Dwayne Allman. Actually, it was a bottleneck, you know, from Dwayne Allman, and he would get it out, pull it out of his little bag, and kind of worship it. You know what I mean? Just sort of, you know, feel the vibe from it, and that's what he would always take out when he did a session. You know,
You know, a quirky thing. I've worked with a band called Midnight Oil from Australia, right?
I love Midnight Oil. I really love it.
The quirky thing about Midnight Oil is the drummer won't play if his kangaroo isn't beside him in his drum kit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's that quirky. Literally, he's got a particular kangaroo. It's got to be sitting in a certain place. Otherwise, no show. And believe me, we've done some big shows. And he goes, "No kangaroo, no, not going on." And we literally had to cancel it because where's the kangaroo? Sitting at home. He just won't do it. Weird. But yet again, there is some quirky things come out of it. You've heard about the Aborigines, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You must know of the band Three Dog Night.
Yeah, oh yeah.
How did they get their name?
3 dogs sleeping, you know, to keep you warm is what I always understood, that sort of thing.
Exactly. It's an act that the Aborigines do.
Okay.
And they took it from the Aborigines. They literally, when they were in Australia, they were rather fascinated by this particular thing and decided to name themselves just that.
Wow, that's great. I have a friend in Charlotte that actually knew Chuck, and I'll have to mention that to her. Talk to her every so often, yeah.
Very, very cool. Well, you know, pass love on to Chuck via your young lady as well. So, I'm talking of young ladies again. Let's get back to the program and talk about Kim Kardashian. What's the fascination with Kim?
You know, it's another one of Richard's songs. Richard has, it's almost like he reads the paper or watches TV and tries to figure out what it is that's either pissing him off or making him happy about something, and he'll put it to words, and I just like what he does, and he gives me free reign of stuff, you know, when we work together. So, I mean, that just came out of his head. I'm kind of like driving from the back seat on these things, especially as far as lyrics, on this particular, like the Top Banana EP. Richard actually, you know, was sort of the workhorse behind all that stuff. He just, you know, said, complete the songs, I'll do the rest of the stuff. You know? So,
very, very cool. You're going to have to get Richard onto Elon Musk or something like that.
God, well, he might. I've got a stack of stuff that I need to look at that he's, said, more lyrics, So
Well,
great. He lets me choose what I want to work on, and I find out what I connect with and do it like that.
there you go. Well, Elon Musk is kind of an interesting character. He likes throwing stuff into space, if you know what I mean. So,
Oh,
you know,
I'm very familiar with him. He's on the news every day.
if you're into Kim Kardashian, maybe you might want to pick on Elon for a change. Nice,
Yeah.
nice to have Butch Goodhue joining us. Nice to be on board.
I'll suggest that to Richard.
Yeah, do that. Say, some stupid Kiwi entertainer down there thought that you might want to pick on Elon Musk. Jimmy Fiano is joining us as well. Nice to have you on board. And honestly, Jamie, are you familiar with the Hammond brothers?
The who brothers?
The Hammond brothers.
Hammond. No.
Okay, these are country and western legends too, by the way, the Hammond brothers.
Okay.
Dale is watching at the moment. Say hi to Gail for me as well, please. Been a while. We will have to catch up at some stage in the near future.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I tell you what, let's wrap it up with Kim Kardashian right here at Galaxy. Believe me, I'm loving this track.
Cool. I should have mentioned with a lot of these tracks, Kim Kardashian in particular, I recorded those I had, again, separated from my wife. I had to stay, for a year, and I stayed in different places. And one of my friends is Catesby Jones. Catesby is the guy who wrote Country Club for Travis Tritt.
Okay.
Which was a big hit, yeah. So, he's a connected country writer, was a staff writer and all that. But literally, this stuff was all set up in his hallway upstairs. And that's where I actually recorded that stuff. So it was good because it sounded wood. And Catesby actually built on the top part of his house himself. So anyway, I have a lot of friends in the country business. Bill Lloyd is another, from Foster and Lloyd. I've done an album with Bill, and he's done a lot of co-writing with me with the Sponge Stones over the years. Anyway, I thought you might get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I did.
As a matter of fact, I will see Catesby tomorrow. He's driving down from Wilmington to have lunch with me. So.
Very
I have
cool.
produced a couple of records for him.
Very cool. Believe me, bro, I wish I could sing, to be very honest with you. My father stuffed it up for me at a very, very young age.
Hi, Dale.
He really
Hi,
did.
Jody.
I'm not kidding. Everything was on the radio, we were listening to, we were singing. The old man would come and go, sing like Elvis, boy. So everything I sing now comes out like Elvis, and it's like, oh no. So, I sing tenor. I do. I tenor 12 miles away from anybody that can hear me.
That might be the way to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't realize that they should do it like that.
Oh, look, I make dogs cry. I saw one the other day when I was having it. I go into production, do a few things with bits of music, stuff like that, keep my... And I was having a bit of a sing because we're getting ready to do something for another radio station very, very shortly that I want to tell you about. And I was having a bit of a sing-along to the song. In fact, it was Europe's Final Countdown, okay? And I'm singing away. And I'm sure I looked out the window and saw one of the dogs going off with its bloody suitcase going, I've had enough of that. Would have been fine if it was my own dog, but it wasn't. It was the next door neighbour's.
I'm getting ready to buy a corgi right now. Me and my gal are going to buy a corgi.
A corgi?
Yeah.
They, wasn't the royal family, the Queen, wasn't the Queen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Welsh Pembroke corgi. It looks like it's kind of like, they almost look like a big dog with the legs removed.
Yeah.
But they're really cute.
That's like those dachshunds. Yeah. They're kind of short and...
Yeah, like a dog.
Oh, I got a rude joke about those. I better not.
You can't offend me, so don't worry about that.
That's right. Excuse me. You're right here. Let me get that right. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today we're talking to Jamie Hoover, coming in out of North Carolina. And Jamie, I've got to ask you, anything new in the can? Have you got anything coming out in the near future?
Let's see. I am working. I've been writing a couple things with the drummer, the newest drummer for the Sponge Stones, and I'm sort of excited about that. The Sponge Stones are releasing an anniversary, a 40th anniversary concert that we did in Charlotte, and we are including 3 brand new cuts from that. And so those are new. I'm also always working with Elena Rogers, who is my girlfriend, and she's an amazing talent. And so we're getting ready to release another 3 new ones for her coming up very soon here too.
You're going to have to pass this on to Barbara.
Sorry.
Let's see if we can, start promoting Elena as well. Believe me.
Yeah.
My battery's
just
running
amazing.
out.
Sorry,
Guys.
really
I'm
amazing.
trying to plug it
Anything
in.
she picks up, she can play really great, quick, and she's very, very young and very an old soul though, and just